The crisp chill of December swept through Zon, the dim glow of the neon lights reflecting off the snow-dusted rooftops. Despite the deariness, you were in high spirits. It was Christmas, your favorite time of the year. Unfortunately, your girlfriend, Jinx, did not share your enthusiasm. Jinx lounged across the couch, one leg draped over the armrest as she toyed with the dismantled grenade. "It's just another day," she muttered, her voice tinged with boredom. "What's the big deal? Tinsel, trees, overrated." You, armed with string lights, weren't about to let her Grinch attitude ruin the festive season. "It's not just about the decorations, Jinx," you argued, wrapping the lights carefully around the small, slightly crooked tree you'd convinced her to let you bring into the hideout. "It's about spending time together, making memories, and this thing called joy." She snorted. "Sounds lame. Memories are overrated too. Besides, Solomon doesn't exactly scream Winter Wonderland." You shot her a mock glare. "You're impossible." Jinx grinned, a glimmer of mischief dancing in her eye. "That's why you love me, right?" Rolling your eyes, you stepped back to admire your handiwork. The tree, though small, looked charming, adorned with mismatched ornaments and blinking lights. You turned to Jinx with an expectant look. "Well?" She tilted her head, pretending to scrutinize the tree. "Meh." "Jinx," he scolded. "What? I'm just being honest." She smirked, her signature playful energy surfacing. "Tell you what, if you can convince me that this whole Christmas thingy-majig isn't just a whole snooze fest, I'll try not to blow it up. Deal?" You sighed, but couldn't help but smile at her antics. "Fine, but you're not allowed to sabotage my efforts." "No promises," she called after you disappeared into the kitchen. The first attempt at winning her over involved cookies. I mean, who could resist a fresh-baked sheet? You returned a while later with a plate piled high with misshapen cookies, some decorated with wonky icing designs. She poked at one with her finger. "Well, what's this supposed to be? A snowfish or a blobfish?" "It's abstract art," you retorted. "Just eat it." To your surprise, she took a bite. Her expression softened for a moment before she realized she was enjoying herself. "There. Okay," she said, trying to sound indifferent, but when she grabbed another one, it betrayed her. You grinned triumphantly. "See? Christmas isn't so bad." I've had worse snacks," she mumbled through a mouthful of cookie. Next, you coaxed her into helping you hang stockings. This proved to be an ordeal, as Jinx insisted on them filled with things like screws and bolts and miniature explosives instead of candy and trinkets. "Come on, YN," she teased, dangling a smoke bomb in front of you. "Wouldn't you rather wake up to something fun?" "No, stockings are for cute stuff," you argued, snatching it away, replacing it with a small wrapped gift. "Lame," she pouted, though she didn't protest any further. Your final plan involved taking her outside to see the lights strung across Zon, more festive distractions, despite her initial grumbling. Jinx seemed to be at least a little bit intrigued by the twinkling displays. As she strolled through the narrow street, she reluctantly admitted, "All right, this part's pretty, okay? But don't let it get to your head." You smirked. "I knew you'd come around." Jinx scoffed, but didn't try to pull away when you took her hand for a fleeting moment. She looked almost tense, her chaotic energy tempted by something gentle, the glow of the lights. Back at the hideout, the two of you settled on the couch, the tree's soft lights casting a glow across the room. Jinx rested her head on your shoulder, twirling a strand of hair between her fingers. She started quietly. "I still think this whole thing's kinda dumb." You chuckled, brushing your kiss to her temple. "And yet, here you are." Yeah, well, she trailed off. Her voice was softening. I guess it's not that bad. If it makes you happy, then I can deal with a little dumbness. Your heart swelled at her words. Jinx wasn't one for grand gestures or heartfelt confessions, but moments like this reminded you just how much she did care. Thanks, Jinx, you murmured, squeezing her hand. She smirked, her mischievous spark returning. Don't get used to it, Wyan. Next year I'm blowing up that tree. Laughing, you pulled her closer. Yeah, we'll see about it. For now, though, you were content, simply enjoying the moment, the warmth of her presence making this Christmas one to remember. Even if your girlfriend was a bit of a Grinch. The dim glow of the fireplace painted the hideout, and the warm, flickering light snow gently fell outside, muffling the chaos of Zon for one peaceful night. It was perfect. A December evening, or at least it would have been if Jinx wasn't sprawled across the couch, groaning dramatically. Ryan, you're killing me here, she whined, tossing a cushion into the air and catching it lazily. Just tell me the stupid present already. You sat cross-legged on the rug in front of her, sipping cocoa and doing your best to stifle your giggles that threatened to spill out. For the past week, you'd been dropping little hints about her Christmas gift, watching her curiosity morph into outright desperation. Jinx had tried everything to get you to crack the code. Puppy eyes, sneak attacks, and even one poorly executed attempt to pick the lock of the drawer you'd hidden it in. You'll find out on Christmas morning, Jinxie, you said sweetly, taking a sip of your cocoa. Jinx groaned again, louder this time as she flopped onto her side, over the armrest, her blue braid brushing against the floor. But that's like forever away. Just give me a hint. One tiny little hint, please. You laughed, shaking your head. Nope. You'll have to wait till Christmas. But the mischievous twinkle in your eye had just given you away, because Jinx suddenly sat upright, pointing an accusatory finger at you. You're loving this, aren't you? You like watching me suffer. You laughed. Maybe a little bit, you admitted through another laugh. She pounced, landing beside you, on the rug in a fury of limbs and blue. You're evil, pure evil, she declared, pinning you with a mock glare. But I'm going to find out what it is one way or another. Her playful determination was quite adorable. For the moment, you almost caved. Almost. Instead, you leaned closer, your voice dropping to a teasing whisper. You'll have to be patient, Jinx. Good things come to those who wait. She huffed, crossing her arms and pouting like a child, and had dessert. Patience is boring. You smirked, letting the silence stretch on long enough to drive her crazy. Then you relented. Fine. Do you want your gift early? You said, slowly drawing it out to annoy her. Jinx's eyes lit up, her pout vanishing in an instant. Yes, gimme. Laughing, you reached behind the couch and pulled out a small, neatly wrapped box. Jinx practically snatched it from your hands, tearing into it like a maniac. But the moment she saw what was in the box, her grin froze. Lingerie? She said, holding up the delicate lacy set with an expression that was equal parts surprise and disbelief. You felt your cheeks heat up, but you managed to play a playful smile on there. Do you like it? Jinx stared at it for a moment longer before a slow, wicked grin spread across her face. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to kill me in a completely different way. You laughed nervously, your heart racing as she turned her sharp blue eyes on you. I thought you'd look really good in it, you said softly, your confidence wavering at her intense gaze. Jinx didn't say anything at first. Instead, she set the box aside and leaned towards you, her grin softening into something more genuine. You're full of surprises, aren't you? She murmured, her voice dropping to a low purr. Before you could even respond, her lips were on yours, warm and insistent. Your breath hitching as her hands found your waist, pulling you closer. The kiss deepened. Her usual chaotic energy had channeled into something raw and electric. You melted into her, your hands tugging at her blue braid as she pressed your back against the rug. The world outside the hideout seemed to disappear, leaving only the crackling of the fire and the intoxicating feel of her body against yours. Jinx's fingers trayed up your sides, slipping under your sweater and sending shivers racing across your skin. She pulled back just enough to look at you. Her eyes were dark and mischievous, but there was also something deeper. "You know," she said, her voice a husky whisper, "I was gonna make fun of you for being all festive and cheesy, but now..." You arched a brow, trying to keep your voice steady. "Now what?" you asked. Her grin turned wicked again. "Now I'm thinking Christmas might not be so bad after all." She kissed you again, her hands exploring you with a confidence that left you breathless. You could feel her smirk against your lips as her fingers danced across her skin, leaving a trail of heat in their wake. The firelight cast flickering shadows across the room, highlighting the sharp angles of her face as she hovered above you. Her expression was softer now, her usual chaotic bravo tempered by the rare vulnerability. "Why, Anne," she murmured, her voice barely audible over the crackle of the fire. "You're too good to me, you know." You smiled, brushing a thumb against her cheek. "And you're not as much of a Grinch as you pretend to be." She chuckled, but it was low and genuine, before kissing you again. Time seemed to blur together as the two of you lost yourselves in one another. The heat of the fire only matched by the warmth of her touch. You'd never seen Jinx so focused. Every movement, every kiss, it felt deliberate, like she was pouring her chaotic energy into you, showing you just how much she cared. Eventually, the two of you had ended up tangled up together on the rug, your limbs intertwined as the fire began to die down. Jinx's head rested on your less than covered chest, settling over your shoulders was her braids, as she traced lacy patterns in your arm. For once, she seemed completely at peace. "You know," she said after a while, her voice drowsy from the hours that you two had spent together, "I might just let you keep that dumb tree next year. Maybe." You laughed softly, pressing a kiss to the top of her head. "I'll take that as a win." The room was quiet, save for the faint crackle of the fire and the steady rhythm of her breathing. It was a moment of rare stillness, a fleeting just exit from the chaos of Zon and the unpredictability of the life of Jinx, but more than that, it was a reminder why you loved her. Her passion, her ability to turn the simplest moments into something completely unforgettable. The fire crackled softly, its golden glow painting the corners of the room, flickering the warmth as the snow continued to fall outside. You lay tangled up there, Jinx just resting, her wild blue braids splayed out like a halo. For someone so full of chaos and energy, she seemed completely at peace in your arms. Her fingers traced more patterns against your arm, the quiet intimacy of the moment wrapped around you two. "You're lucky I like you," she murmured sometime, out of nowhere. You grinned, resting your chin lightly on her head. "Oh? Why's that?" "Because this Christmas stuff," she said. "Super cheesy. Still," she teased, but her voice was laced with genuine mischief. "But I guess it's not that bad. I mean, the cookies were decent and the lights are kind of cool," and she tilted her head up, her sharp blue eyes meeting yours with a rare softness. "Spending it with you makes it worth it." The corner of your lips lifted and your heart swelled at her ended mission. For her wild antics and her unpredictable nature, moments like this reminded you just how much she really cared, even if she never said it outright. "Well," you said, your voice light with humor, "I guess I'll have to keep up the humor and the cheesy traditions then." Jinx rolled her eyes dramatically, but her smile betrayed her. "You do that, and maybe next year I won't threaten to blow up the tree." "Maybe?" "Maybe," she emphasized for good luck, poking you in the ribs playfully before snuggling closer. The fire burned lower, its warmth mirrored the way Jinx was clung to you. Her bravo was replaced by a quiet contentment. The world outside seemed far away, the chaos and the danger of Zon momentarily forgotten. As you lay there, your fingers outwardly brushing through her hair, You couldn't help but marvel at the strange, beautiful mess of your relationship. Jinx was your chaos, your firecracker, and your everything. And almost like this, she felt like it was the same about you. Together, you watched the flames dance, the glow of the fire casting a world and the warmth as the night stretched on. A perfect December evening that you wished you could treasure forever.